All right. Hello and welcome everybody. This I so um, this is our game of Urban Shadows, second edition. This will be the first real session after our session 0. I'm Kale, the MC. My pronouns are he/him. This is part of the Open Hearth, openhearthgaming.com, and so we will be using some safety tools, which we'll go over in a minute. But first, let's just go around and do a quick player intro one more time. I think we'll probably not do that as we get to the following sessions, but we'll do the player intro and then double check our safety tools and then go on from there. And perhaps why don't we do a player and character intro, just like a one-line description, and we'll start with you, Red.
Yeah, hi, I am Kay. I use she and they pronouns. I will be playing Red, who uses he, him pronouns. He is our oracle, new to the city, caught between two vampiric beings and just at a loss of what to do in this new big supernatural city.
All right. And Dancy?
I'm from the Florida backwoods, and I used to go around the landscape hunting monsters for a seraph who turned out to be not the kind of person I thought he was. Since a horrible thing Niant killed me, and Euthanatos kept me from dying at the cost of my promising to work for them. So I do. I don't know whether I like it any better than my previous existence, but it's something. I wear clothes like you might find in the Goodwill donation bin. But the most striking thing about me is that I'm an albino. I have a kitchen knife that's probably tens of thousands of years old. I'm guessing it didn't always look like a kitchen knife.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what it used to look like. And Dara.
Sure, yeah. I'm Elle, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing Dara Pickman, also she, her pronouns. Dara is the aware, so she is a regular person without any powers who recently found out about the supernatural through some of her grandfather's paintings, which are very creepy and look very much like paintings of her own. She's torn between her mortal responsibilities, including her job at the art gallery and her stewardship of her younger sister, and these new mysteries that are unfolding, including the mystery of the Pickman Foundation, which is the organization that facilitates her grandfather's artistic estate. Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. And lastly, Carrie.
Yeah, so my name is Carrie Ryan. I am mid-level. Well, sorry, I'm Jesse. My pronouns are he and him. I am not a vampire at all, but I'm playing Carrie Ryan, whose pronouns are also he and him. Carrie is a vampire and kind of mid-level criminal, in the Boston underworld, based out of the Boston Garden / North Station. Publicly a bookmaker, but privately all kinds of schemes, scams, robberies, that kind of stuff. Definitely, yeah. What was I going to say? I think those are sort of the key things. Yeah.
All right. As I mentioned earlier, we will be using some safety tools here. So we do have a lines and veils tab that everyone went through last week. I would love it if you guys could just go double check and make sure there's anything. Make sure you've reviewed everything that's on there, and if there's anything else that needs to be added, go ahead and add it. And then we will just give me a thumbs up or something when you've gone through that. If you
I'd love to know, in the context of this very not Star Wars game, what the line on midichlorians means.
Some list of lines and veils got copied over from other games. I think.
Yes.
Midichlorians are always a line, I think. I shouldn't say that. There are people who enjoy those movies, and they should get to enjoy them how they like them. But
we will just not mention the prequels in this canon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I'm the person who added the line just because I saw midichlorians there and thought it was funny.
You were correct.
I thought it was funny to bring it up.
Can I also just make a quick request that when we're not talking, we keep muted? I'm just hearing a lot of ambient noise, and I find it pretty distracting.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't know if everyone can see the private chat, but we tried to mention it there. But I think it's just a good policy. I agree with Al.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
All
here's my
right.
thumbs up for that stuff.
Let's see. I think yeah, so I think that's it for sort of intro stuff that I wanted to cover. So I think the next thing I'd like to do is just go through real quick and have everyone talk through their deaths. We sort of did deaths part in last session and then partly asynchronous over Slack, and so I think it would just be great to have everyone kind of do a quick summary of where we're at and make sure everything is accounted for. And why don't we go in character keeper order to start? So Dara, that's you.
Sure. So I owe Carrie 2 debts. I'm leveraging dirt on him for help figuring out what's going on with these disappearances from the bar where my sister works, which happens to be near his harbor. And I owe one to Red because he puts up with my questions about the supernatural. I also believe I have 2 on Red. We met at the gallery a little while ago, and I've been helping him figure out what his visions might mean. We also are like just hangout buddies. We go shopping together on the weekends. I also have 2 debts on Dancy. She's like crashed at my and my sister's apartment. And I give her info about Mortalis, the sort of regular people who are in the know about the supernatural. Do you want us to talk about the NPCs or no?
Yeah, let's talk about them as well, just to bring them into the fiction a little more clearly.
Cool. I have 1 debt as well on an NPC called Akiko Tanaka. She is a servant of a demon called Mammon. She's also a sort of dedicated... actually, she's not a client of the gallery. She's very interested in art, and particularly, I think, in getting artists under her demonic patron's thumb. So, yeah.
All right. Red.
Yeah, so Red has some debts dancing around. The ones that he currently holds over people is he's got 4 debts on Carrie Ryan, who is his kind of boyfriend, kind of partner lover thing. It's a little complicated. They don't really have exact words for it, but he at one point prevented me from following a vision in my first month that would have led to me meeting Percival and therefore kind of getting involved in my destiny sooner, which I'm still a little sore about. And then I also ensure that he gets fed when he needs it, vis-a-vis sometimes via myself, but also my benefactor Percival is a wizard vampire, and he has, cachets of blood bags, and sometimes a couple go missing, or I'll just be like, oh yeah, I got rid of some because they were expired. This is not true, but yeah. I owe Dara a debt. I answered her, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Dara owes me a debt. I answered her questions about the supernatural. And then there is Mrs. Lane, who is a wizard and a proprietor for a 5-star hotel in the city. I have a debt on her because she snubbed me when I was going to an event. She was like, "You don't belong here. Who do you think you are?" Before realizing I was Percival Crownshields and also an oracle, specifically Percival Crownshield's oracle. And I haven't told him about her rudeness, so she kind of owes me one for that. In terms of debts I owe 2 to Dara. She's my friend and has been there for me and helps me with my visions and figuring certain things out. We also mess around at the fairy markets and have found out there's some kind of hypnotic drug that makes individuals a little more susceptible to, hypnosis type things or mind control, things of that nature. I also owe poor Dancy Flammarion 2. One, she saved me from an attempted murder. We sometimes go for milkshakes since then. And it's kind of hard to be her friend, though, because she works for an organization that very much is against my benefactor, which kind of led me to give her some bad advice based on a vision I had, which I feel kind of bad about. But we toe this really weird line in our relationship of being friends, being allies, and being on kind of opposite sides of a sort of faction tug of war.
Excellent. Dancy.
Yeah, I'll echo that last bit. Where Dara says that Dara's Red's only friend who doesn't want something from him. That's because Dancy's not clearly a friend. To make a coda on that last, when you gave me the bad advice and I fell into a trap, I had to cut my way out of it, and then I showed up at your place covered in blood and asked if I could use your shower.
The housekeepers were not happy about that, but Red did let you use the showers.
Red has said the debts I hold on him for having saved him from an undead assassin and the Dark Vision. I also hold a debt on the vampire hunter, I guess mostly vampire hunter, Dinesh Chopra, who's in the Mortalis. Who was squared off against a vampire called Lila Prentice. I sussed that Lila was actually a shapeshifter pretending to be a vamp. And that saved Dinesh from getting his heart cut out. As Dara pointed out, I owe her 2 debts because she helps me understand the mortals better. I had a difficult childhood, so the fact that I'm completely human doesn't help. And because I sussed that the paintings were demonic, and I didn't tell her about it because I hoped she would be able to stay out of it, and that didn't work out. I also owe 2 debts to Carrie. One, because he gets me heroin, which I use sometimes to deal with the pain of existence. I also, he had an ally named Laura Caravati, who was a ghost, who was intruding on the life of the living. i.e., she got a contract put out on her by Euthanatos, and so I dispatched her. Euthanatos, as I mentioned before, is very particular about things that cross the veil, and hard on practitioners, especially those from the power circle that tamper too much with the space between life and death.
Awesome. And Carrie, excuse me. I'm sorry, my voice is very scratchy today. I'm not sure why.
So, I mean, most of my debts have been covered. A couple quick little thoughts. Yeah. I'm with Red sometimes. Definitely like Red. Red's done me some real solids. Definitely owe Red a whole bunch, as he said. Problem is, I'm also kind of I've kind of fallen for somebody else. Anya Kavian. I just added them to the wild side. An imp who runs a bookstore under the Old South Meeting House, which in my memory there was one, but the internet doesn't seem to think it exists, so I don't know.
There is a yarn shop under there.
Maybe there used to be a bookstore. There's now one around the corner, and I wonder if it just moved. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Now in the game, there's a bookshop, Arcane Bookshop. It's run by the imp Anya Kavian. I'm in love with them, but who knows what she thinks. Let's leave that up to Kale. But she's sort of distracting me from Red, and I'm not quite sure how to end it with him. So that's awkward. As Red mentioned, owe him a bunch of debts for all kinds of wonderful things for some things I've done to him, and some things he's done for me. Dancy owes me because I hook her up and she is in my web. Dara, one of those two debts that you owe me is from sending Dinesh Chopra on me. And so for that one, you are also in my web. And then Cyril, I don't remember his last name. I just wrote down Cyril, who is a paranormal investigator, owes me a debt. I tipped him off that the Harvard Square Pit is in fact a fairy circle of some kind, whatever that means. We'll figure that out. And yeah, that's sort of my debt situation.
All right. Yeah, I think that was Cyril Callis, who I thought I had put in a sheet somewhere, but apparently not. Too many Mortalis. Okay, good. We're shy of Mortalis players right now, so happy to have another one. No doubt. No doubt Cyril will make another appearance at some point. Oops. Okay. Right. So I think we have I think we've done all of the world building. However, we do have one more sort of pre-game thing, which is Red, you have a move that you need to, or an ability, I guess, not a move, your foretellings.
Yes.
So you'll need to roll with spirit, and then we'll see what happens.
Cool. Are we using a dice roller, or should I use physical dice, or what are we doing?
We are using a dice roller. It is linked on the safety tab, I think.
Cool.
Yes. I will also put it in
that up. Right, we are rolling with spirit.
So are we starting with the faction turn, Kim?
We are not starting with a faction turn, but this particular ability triggers both before each faction turn and at the start of the game. So we are at the start of the game, and had I been thinking, I would have had you roll it like between sessions so that I would have had more time to think about what I was actually going to foretell, but I clearly wasn't. So we'll do it on the fly.
So I have rolled an 8. So on a hit,
8.
I pick one of the options below after the faction turn. Let's see. I'll give you the options since this is the first time we're seeing this. Fate has provided an opportunity to fulfill your role for your benefactor. The MC will tell you how to seize it. An ally has come to own an item that might reveal more about your prophecy. The MC will tell you where they keep it. A coming tragedy might allow you to escape or alter your prophesized past. The MC will tell you about who will suffer if you allow it to occur. Additionally, on a 7 to 9, which is what I got an 8, you must also choose one. A threat is closing in. The MC will tell you why it stalks you or your benefactor. An ally is plotting a betrayal. The MC will tell you when the hammer will fall. A death lurks in the shadow. The MC will tell you how you can avoid it. And there's stuff on a mist. We haven't gotten there yet, so you can wait to have that until later. So I think Fate has provided an opportunity to fulfill your role for your benefactor. The MC will tell you how to seal it. And then I think a death lurks in the shadows. The MC will tell you how you can avoid it.
Okay. A death lurks in the shadows, huh?
Am I gonna have to do this again?
So many times. Like this is just like we got a lot of these
I
sessions.
just have a feeling I'm cursed Satan
Regularly.
from your fate.
Well, I don't know if my fate is dying, but death. Some levels of death sure want to get into the way of my prophecy.
Nobody likes an oracle.
Nobody likes an oracle, except
All
the people.
right.
who-
Well, the world doesn't like an oracle. Individuals can like an oracle.
Yeah.
I mostly like you, fine. You seem
People mostly don't like the truth, actually.
Yeah.
We never did figure out what your prophecy was. Well, I guess so that your prophecy is that Percival is the one that can guide you to the answers you seek.
Mystical answers I seek.
Okay.
Yeah, because the prophecy sort of, from my understanding of what I've played, and maybe this has changed since I last played, is something you, as the MC, sort of come up with, but it has something to do with mystical stuff.
Got it. Well, then I will admit if it was I should come up with the more details on the prophecy. I missed that prompt and have not. So we'll have to figure that out not right now.
Have we established what answers Red is seeking?
Yes, I see.
Yeah, so we kind of put seeking in sort of quotes there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so sorry, I'm now reading. I apologize. I didn't read through the notes on your benefactor in the book quite as thoroughly as I ought to have. So it says work with the MC at character creation to determine what information you have about your prophecy and how it brought you to your benefactor. So it could be vague. Your visions might be vague, or they might be specific. And
yeah, I'm happy to leave things vague so you can have time to figure stuff out.
Great.
and my start of session, or not really start of session, start of game and time passes move doesn't involve the MC. So
Okay.
maybe I can also do that, and that could give you a few moments to think a little bit.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So my web, when time passes, we're at the start of the game, which is not time passes isn't necessarily the faction turn like the other one. So it usually will be. I think you do the faction turn when time passes, but there are times when it makes sense to do this. We can do this again also.
Yep.
If there's no faction turn. Choose someone in your web and learn a secret about them that they'd rather keep buried. So I'm not gonna. I guess I could ask you about the NPC. There's no NPCs in my web right now, so it's easy. I have to ask a PC. And Mark Corruption asks a follow-up question about the answer. Their player must answer you honestly. Dara, I'm gonna ask you. What's a secret you'd rather keep buried?
Ooh, interesting. I think. I think that lately, I've been visited in my dreams by one of the figures that I had been painting that I thought I like just invented. And it's come to my attention that they are in fact a demon who is trying to tempt me into their service.
Yeah. So here's my follow-up question that I am marking corruption for. How tempted are you? Is this like an appealing offer, or are you like, ugh, no, fuck that?
Yeah, I think they're tempting me with information about the Pikmin Foundation. Like, it's sort of like, if you work with me, I can reveal all of these answers to you. Maybe not all of them, but
Got it.
And that's pretty tempting to Dara.
For sure. Maybe start with a debt and then another one, and then all of a sudden you work for them.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. Love it. Love it. This is fun stuff.
Okay. So I think, Red, that I think what's well, hold on. Okay. So we had a Death Lurks in the Shadows. MC will tell you how to. Okay.
If that last one is too difficult, I can switch it to something else.
No, I was actually just trying to see if there was a sort of I was trying to see if there was a way to tie them together. Again, I'm it's very on the fly, which is not perhaps my my best mode of operation for these sorts of things. So I think so. I think the opportunity to fulfill your role I think what happened here is you had a dream, because I think we've established, at least with some of your interactions with Dara, you had sort of prophetic dreams.
Mhm.
So you had a dream, and in it there was a it was not entirely clear where you were, but you sort of had this, it was almost like flashes as you were kind of progressing through a building, maybe down into a basement. But what you saw there was what looked to be I guess it perhaps it didn't appear that way necessarily to the naked eye, but it was clear to you in your dream that in that basement there was a powerful sort of magical artifact that was in the it was in the shape of a sword. It's unclear. It was unclear from the dream exactly what what powers the what powers it had. But you know from prior discussions, from sort of overhearing Percival that he has kind of extensive interest in collecting more, like, sort of collecting supernatural artifacts and kind of arcane secrets. And so you are certain that he would be interested to hear about this.
Mhm.
I think Death Lurks in the Shadows, huh? So I think what was Okay, so I think as you were sort of moving through this building in the dream, I think you may have gotten the sense that you were almost seeing through the eyes of something that was also looking for that sword, and that whatever that was, I think there may have been, as you were getting sort of flashes moving through the building, I think you saw there were places where you just saw, like blood spatters on the walls, or other, sort of gore kind of dripping on the floor, or something similar. And so I think you have a sense of there might be something else looking for this sword, and wherever it is, whatever that is, it's going to do a tremendous amount of damage on its way in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the thing you would need to do to avoid it is give a warning to whoever or whoever is in that building, so that they can sort of be forewarned of what's coming.
Okay. And I have no indication, or there's nothing that kind of gives me any hints towards where this building must be or what it is.
Yeah, you didn't sort of immediately recognize it. Although I would say there's nothing to say that we won't have some moment when that foretelling, when you recognize something from that foretelling later, or that someone else might recognize it if you were to describe it to them.
Sounds good.
How's that for hedging things I don't actually have an answer for?
Okay.
Okay. So, I think, does anyone else have any start of session or start of game type moves?
I don't think the aware does.
Okay.
Nope.
Yep. I think searching for start in the character sheet only came up with 2 things, and we just covered them. So I think we're good. All right. So in that case, I think the thing we'll do is jump to a scene, and in particular, Red and Dara, it is. I believe it was Sundays that you guys go to the ferry market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a Sunday afternoon, and you guys are just sort of coming out of the ferry market. It is at Faneuil Hall. It's sort of not, it's not in the kind of the main, hustle and bustle of the maybe the mortal shops there, but if you know the right people to talk to, there's a whole ferry market that is happening there on Sundays, and you just finished. I have a question though. So Red,
Yes.
what did you buy at the market today that cost you more than just money?
What did I buy at the ferry market that cost me more than just money?
Mm-hmm.
I think I bought a scarf that has like a very like dark kind of woolen scarf that has kind of a protective like warding awareness charm knit into it that I'm planning to give to Carrie, because I know he's been having an issue with a sort of hunter lately. So, a little scarf for my boyfriend.
Excellent. And what did you have to pay for it, or what did you have to give for it?
So obviously, I think there was a money component, but I also did do a reading for the vendor, which, if you want to make them up, I'll roll the move. But I gave someone a future reading.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that. I think we actually have. I think we actually have a vendor in this particular case. So sorry, where the move here that you have is
Soothsayer. When you turn your
Soothsayer.
prophetic tools to read someone else's future, roll a spirit. On a hit, the MC will tell you something new and interesting about their destiny. On a 10+, you may ask a follow-up question. The MC will answer honestly. On a miss, you see vague shapes of what is to come, but something is obscuring your prophetic tools, prophetic powers. The future you tried to read is beyond your sight until you resolve this interference.
Cool. Sure. Let's do it. So yeah, I think the fairy that sold you this particular scarf goes by the name Manuel. You wouldn't recognize him, but Carrie, or you didn't recognize him, but Carrie would have. He and Carrie had a run-in a while back, and Manuel was not. Yeah, sneaked his way out of a deal in a way that Carrie was not happy with. So yeah, go ahead and roll your roll a spirit.
A 10.
A 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the MC will tell you something new and interesting about their destiny. On 10+, I also get to ask a follow-up question that you will answer honestly.
All right. So I think the thing you see is new and interesting. I think you see that I think you see that Manuel actually has the potential for sort of some more greatness, maybe sort of selling it too strongly, but perhaps more than he more than than they currently are. They seem to be sort of a, they're selling scarves at a stall in the fairy market, but I think they could be a bit more of a mover and a shaker with the appropriate with an appropriate push or opportunities and an opportunity.
What kind of opportunity should Manuel be keeping an eye out for?
So I think Manuel needs to be looking for a way to reconnect with their fairy court here on here in the sort of in the mortal realm.
Yeah. So I think we see, they're kind of standing by this stall, and Red has picked out this, very thick sort of it's made of like a nice fabric, but it's a little utilitarian looking. He knows that Carrie doesn't like overstated things, just tends to keep to dark simple things. That's got this, chant woven in, and as he makes the deal, we see is like his hand kind of passes over Manuel's, and there's this sort of almost light electric charge current, and Red's eyes kind of go sort of hazy and glazed over. There's almost like a light blue or purple kind of sheen to that. There's like a moment of time And we see in the hand sort of that's over his, if you look into the things, there's these gloves that he's wearing that have several jewels kind of sewn into the fabric that sort of light up a bit as well with that swirl of concentrated, like, in the air. And after a second, Red kind of blinks away the haze and smiles warmly at Manuel and says, should you wish to develop your position and abilities more than very excellent charms that you are weaving into, of course, clothing, but if you wish for ambitions beyond that, you'll need to set out to it, and you can do them. You just need to look for an opportunity to connect with your court here in the mortal realm, sir.
Connect with that. I didn't think they would want to see me again after how I left them.
I don't know. I can just tell you what I see in the future.
Well, thank you. I that's well worth the well worth well traded for the scarf.
Yes, I appreciate it. This will keep someone I care about safe. And Red will kind of tuck it into a reusable bag that he's brought to the market. And turn around to Dara. And I think he's, maybe they haven't met up yet, but maybe he sees her and smiles as he makes his way over. He actually has a little tray that has 2 boba teas from the Bon Mi in the Boston Public Market across the street from Faneuil Hall. Because after they found out about the dosing stuff, they were like, we really shouldn't eat or drink anything at the Fairy Market. Not that maybe it's a great idea to do it before that, but even worse now. So he got them some boba teas from across the way, where it's definitely regular human employees that are making it.
Yeah, I think in this first glimpse of Dara, we see her with she's seated at this little table. There's a big thick tome that she's got open. We see that it's like a sort of art book, like 20th century Boston artists, and she's just sort of like lazily thumbing through it with her chin kind of resting in her hand. She looks tired, distracted, but it's almost like she doesn't even have to look up to know that Red is coming, that the shadow that's being cast through the table is Red's. And without even without looking up at him, I think she's like, please tell me you didn't blow your entire wallet here. Remember the pact? Remember the pact we made, Red? We're gonna keep each other accountable about money stuff. Or I guess mostly you keep me accountable, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have like a thing that just, I don't think it ever runs out of money, but it is weird, right? I'm not you, but here I brought you caffeine, and he like puts the boba tea in front of her. But if you ever need something and like you're having trouble with that, like I'll keep you accountable, like of course. But if you want something and it's just like accountable, it's like you not buying it. If it's not something too big, I mean, Percival doesn't really check the cards in the coin pouch he gave me at all. He just kind of is like, use it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Dara always gets a little bit uncomfortable when you talk about your situation with Percival. In part because she doesn't understand it, but in part because like what she does understand of it, she doesn't really like. And I think she's wearing these like slightly, very slightly tinted, like heart-shaped sunglasses, and she like kind of pushes them down a little bit so that she's looking you directly in the eye. And she's like, Red, I know that you have this whole thing and it's going well, but it's not your money.
Well, no, it's not. And I mean, I still have some money, and I still sometimes do like the part-time work and other things occasionally for people, and that's all in a side account. But I don't think that'll be an issue because like our destinies are intertwined, so it's not like I'm going anywhere or he's going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Art
there's
stuff?
that look on Dara's face that's like, okay, that doesn't sound right to me, but I'm not going to pry anymore, right? So we don't have that kind of relationship yet.
Yeah. And Red kind of points to the book. I did cool art stuff, but I did get something. I think you know Carrie, and like a little like slight blush kind of like tints at the edge of his cheeks as he kind of like pulls from the reusable bag. I got him this scarf. I think he'll like it, and it'll like fit, and it's not. Yeah, and it's got like a sort of like warding alertness kind of charm sewn into it.
Do I know that you're hooking up with Carrie, or I just know that?
Oh, he's my boyfriend, which I have definitely told you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, about Carrie. How's that going?
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I just got him the scarf, and it's almost been 8 months now, which is kind of cool. That's like the longest relationship I've ever had, and it's good. It's good. It's great.
Isn't he
I
like
mean-
super old?
Well, yeah, but like he's a vampire, so like, does it count?
Well, yeah, I think it counts extra.
Oh, well, I mean, but he's been like really great. And when I first moved, he like showed me around a bunch, and he's just I maybe and like again, he's kind of like that blush kind of grows, and he like kind of like scratches at his chin a bit. Maybe I guess I just like him a little older. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, you're the one who can see the future, so I guess I won't worry.
Yeah. What's got you all tangled up? And he like kind of like arches a finger towards the book.
Oh, just doing some reading about my grandfather.
Oh, cool.
Still working on that little family history project, I guess.
Yeah. If you ever want help with that, I can help, or I could, get you in to talk with certain people who might know more, or whatever you need.
You know people?
Well,
Pikmin Foundation people?
Percival knows people. And at some of the like parties he's had me go to, there's definitely been people who are involved in like the art scene, and like that's why I go to the gallery. And I think someone I met at the last one was on the Pikmin board.
She immediately perks up and like with a thud shuts this heavy book and like full attention now on Red. When's the next party?
GM, when's the next party?
I think I think, let's see, it's Sunday now. I think there's probably something that Percival has mentioned come like the end of the week, like Friday night or something like that.
Yeah. There's another one coming up around the end of the week. I think Thursday or Friday, something like that. I don't remember the exact date. But I'm gonna. I have an appointment when Percival's schedule frees up in a few hours to go talk to him about something. I didn't want to tell him. I had a dream last night. Oh, maybe you can help. But yeah, I can bring it up then, and I could probably. I mean, I've never asked to bring a friend before, but I bet he wouldn't mind. So I could ask about that when I'm also there.
Red, if you can get me into this party, I will owe you big time.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to owe me. We're friends, and it would be cool to bring someone to the party. I can't really bring Carrie because Percival gets mad. But yeah, like I think it would be great to have a friend to bring to the party. So yeah, I'll ask him. But yeah, why don't since I'm doing that later? But maybe you can help me. You know the city kind of well. I don't know the city well. there was this building, and I think Red kind of pulls from the reusable bag an actual sketch pad, and starts kind of drawing like the walls and the building and the place that he saw. And I think he's actually quite a gifted artist. I think he spent a lot of times in old Southern drawing rooms, just drawing, and it channels some of his prophetic tools a bit sometimes to draw things out.
I think. Let me see. Yeah, I think if Dara doesn't recognize it immediately, which is up to you, Kale, I think I'd like to let it out. One of my let it out abilities is to spot an overlooked clue or advantage in the immediate area. So maybe there's, even if she doesn't recognize the building, maybe there's something that the sparks for her.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Cool. So I'm rolling plus my spirit, which is 1. That's a 3.
Oh boy.
Oops.
Okay. Let's see. And let it out does not have any standard complications, right? That's a I get to do what I want.
Yep.
We're gonna come back to that.
It's a little power gone awry.
Yeah.
Can I pitch a short scene?
Yeah. Sure.
And I think it's good because it ties into some of the stuff that just happened in terms of like the gallery and the foundation and whatnot, and Dara's dreams. I would love to hit the streets to talk to Annie Akavian about demons. The move is when you hit the streets to go to get what you need, name who you're going to and roll with their circle. So the thing I need is information about demons operating in Boston.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think I'm gonna. We can play we'll play the scene.
Are you looking for something specific?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, I guess the specific. I don't know quite enough from what I know about Dara's dreams to like pinpoint that, get too specific. But I think it's sort of like kind of demons in relationship to the gallery, to the foundation, right? I think maybe just demons in the name Pickman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably enough.
Sure.
Right. Does that work? Dara, are you cool with me poking around in that?
Yeah, please do.
I figured. Okay. Yeah. So I think I don't know if we want to frame the role with a little bit of. I think I walk into the store and I look for Annie. I don't know how that's pronounced. And I say, well, small talk. I'm like a little shy, because I'm madly in love with her for some reason. I don't know quite what it is about them. There's something alluring. And I say, you've got like people in the old country, right, with maybe connections back to demonic to demonic powers, to whom you might know connections. You have.
I'm I don't know that I have connections per se, but I might be able to I might know someone who knows someone. What are you looking for?
Like a cousin you could talk to or something. Yeah, I wanna know about I hear there's some demons who've been looking around, poking around the Pickman family, that old artist Pickman. It's foundation. And maybe this is where I roll.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see what comes
So
out.
it's with rating, right? Not with status.
I believe it is with the rating, the
Right, so
faction rating.
That's +1.
And you should also make sure you go ahead and mark
Bark Wild.
Mark Wild.
So that is a 5 + 1 is a 6. Oh, another
right.
failure you're gonna have to.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So
She's gonna react badly.
I think she
maybe
looks
she
at you and
just
sort of
wants it
says,
dead. I don't know.
well.
Not to pitch a very soft move at you, but
Yeah. I'm. She kind of grimaces a little. Pikmin, I don't think you. Well, I don't think I want to get in between you and them. Well, look, if I might be able to give you a name, but you can't come back to me. And even a name is pushing it. Yeah, you're gonna owe me one for this, and
of course, I really appreciate anything and I give her a toothy smile. I'm a helpful person to know. Happy to help you out however you need. And I mean that sincerely. In addition to owing her a debt.
All right. She's gonna give you a name, but apparently I haven't actually statted out any, or we don't actually have any names associated with Pikmins yet. So I'm gonna have to come up with someone. I do not have. Hold on.
There's a few of these demons. There's Mammon.
Yeah.
Mammon, who's connected already.
Yeah, we got Mammon, but I think.
If you think it's someone else, it could be someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna pull up. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I think you need to go talk to Jessica. And wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm the wait. Why did the safety tab disappeared? Okay. Sorry, trying to make sure I'm not stepping on any of the names that are on the lines. Yeah, talk to Jessica. She sort of gives you the shop that Jessica works at, and actually, I think she gives you a number. She gives you a phone number. And I think we're going to pause here take a 15-minute break since we're about an hour into the recording. And yeah, so I will let's say, so it's like 40 past now or 38 past. So let's come back at like 52 roughly. All right, see you folks then. Okay, are you back? Take that as a no. All right. So we're gonna jump over to Dancy. We'll get back to other folks. So Dancy, I think so. You it's Sunday, which is the
Lord's Day.
Sorry.
It's the Lord's Day.
Indeed, and that's the day that Euthanatos has made it clear. Like you need to actually check in with them, like at least on Sunday, if not other. Or you got to carry a phone. So you hit up one of the safe houses where you often meet them, and in this particular case, you find Edward LaCroix waiting for you. He kind of looks up from his he's sitting in his armchair.
I'm here, Mr. LaCroix.
Reading the newspaper. He looks up. He's Dancy, good. We have his voice is even more gravelly than mine. We have more information about the job, the case you were tracking. Jeremiah Blaylock, exactly. We pulled some strings in the and dug into his finances a little bit, and he seems to have had an influx of cash recently, and as best we could tell, we talked to some people, some more willingly than others, but as best we could tell, he seemed to have he was seen picking it up at the garden. So that you may want to we don't know who he was working with there, but you may want to dig in that direction.
All right. Do we know what he's doing yet?
Have you found anything yet?
Just
we
rumors.
haven't. Yeah, we none of our other operatives have heard anything concrete as of yet. But
I'll I think he's doing a work.
What sort of work do you think? What have you found?
Just rumors about somebody buying up body parts.
Well, all the more reason to find him, and if need be, put an end to it.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. We will be back in touch. We'll find you if we need you earlier, but
You know where to find me.
sometimes we do. You don't make it easy.
It's not my job to make it easy.
Um,
All right.
so
and
he. Sorry, go ahead.
what's he drink? Is he like drinking or anything like that?
Oh, I think he's got a cup of tea.
Do you have any more of that?
Pot's over there.
Yeah. I'll find myself a paper cup and pour myself some tea and take it out with me. And head down to the garden.
All right.
So this probably hit the streets, but you can set the scene for me.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think you've got sort of two options here.
Mhm.
You know someone who works out of the garden. So you could get in touch with him.
You mean Dinesh?
No, I mean Carrie.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it doesn't come to mind right away.
Yeah.
Well, nothing for it. Okay. He likes to go to that bookshop. Right? The near the old South Meeting House.
Yeah, I think
Maybe they'll know where he is.
I mean, where do you normally find? You know, you and Carrie have some arrangements. How do you normally get in touch?
I pay. Well, I guess I'd borrow somebody's phone and send him a message.
All right. Should we cut to it? Do you want to?
I theoretically have a phone, but half the time it's discharged.
You are muted, Jesse.
I think if you reach out to me through someone's phone or whatever, right? I probably, unless you tell me otherwise, I assume you're coming for your dose.
If so, it's early.
Right.
So I don't actually say otherwise, though.
Yeah. I noticed that. And I tell you, to meet me. Where do you think we do this? I probably don't want to do it right out of my place of business. Do we do it like in the public gardens? That's
Yeah,
like
probably in the public gardens, right? In the at nighttime. So
yeah. If we're coming out
you
down
can
on like
stand it.
yeah, over by over just as the last swan boat is sort of like taking sunset time or like after dark.
Well, before dark you have trouble, right?
Yeah, that's true. So it's got to be after dark, right? We sort of
Yeah.
I don't know how I got to the bookstore. I have my ways, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm not standing outside in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
sure.
You might have been heavily,
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not hanging out in the public gardens in the middle of the day for sure.
No, I don't hang out in the public gardens in the middle of the day either for some reason.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So over by that lake, maybe I do you are you there before me, or am
Yes, I am feeding the ducks.
Yeah. So I approach you and I'm like, Dancy, it's early.
It's 8 o'clock night.
Your supply would usually last a little bit longer than this.
I'm not looking for a fix.
Oh, I guess that's good. What can I do for you?
Blaylock's operating out of the gardens, or he's been around the gardens trying to make a buy. He has money. I need to run him down to ground.
I don't. You're telling me there's someone fucking around on my territory?
That's right. I'm doing you a favor.
I mean, I don't know anything about this.
We think he's doing a work, a necromantic work.
Oh, I thought you meant like a con, like in the wrestling.
No,
The wrestling matches.
no, I think he's building a golem. I'm not sure. It's just rumors. What would explain why he dropped off the face of the earth?
I want to try to figure Dancy out.
Sure.
I think is what I want to do.
All right.
Dancy
So
leans forward, and she noticed that she was wearing, as she always does, a prominent cross. She doesn't draw attention to it, though.
Yeah. So let's roll with mind. I'm like looking at you. I'm trying to read your face. I'm smelling you. I'm probably to a certain extent using like supernatural senses. You know.
Just don't get too close.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have to. Yeah. So let's roll 2d6 plus mind. My mind is. I looked at that before I rolled. I haven't even looked at the result of that roll yet. My mind is 0. And I rolled a 7. All right, so that's a 7.
All right.
So I get to ask one question. Oh, I get to ask 2 questions, and you get to ask me one as well. Like I think, how much before we go? How much do I know about what you do? Like, do I know that you work for Euthanatos? Do I know anything about Euthanatos? Beyond like the whatever rumors are floating around. Like, have you shared anything about like you go after those who try to prolong life unnaturally or whatever? Are you open about that?
We're not. You and I haven't had a lot of casual conversations.
Okay.
I will say, I think you probably, the factions are big enough that I think you will have heard of Euthanatos.
Right. I'm sure there's like word on the street about them or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I'm curious if I know about Dancy's connection. That was the
right
thing. And the answer seems to be probably not, which is fine. So the first question then I want to ask is, what actually there's 2 possibilities here. I guess the one I'm going to ask is how can I put your character into my debt, right? Like I guess you're already in my debt, so never mind. I guess the question is the better question is what does your character worry is going to happen?
Well, she mentioned the golem.
Got it.
But she doesn't mean, the classic Jewish version of it.
Right? No, I understand. Whatever.
She means a living creature created out of dead things.
Yeah. And my second question, unless you want to ask yours first, but
Go for it.
yeah. So I get to ask a question to people on my web, and I'm mostly doing this because I can and because it's a cool question. What is your character's true hunger?
Ooh, her hunger.
Yeah, her true hunger. What are you jonesing for aside from just these drugs? Unless it is these drugs, which would also be interesting.
Oh, that's not true hunger. That's
Yeah, I
just a way of getting by.
That's what I thought.
She's not she's not an addict. She uses it to take away pain.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dancy's real hunger is that she wants a genuine friend.
Interesting.
Clearly, obviously, the concomitant to that is that she doesn't feel like she has any. So, I'll ask the question: how can I put your character in my debt? Since you don't owe me any debts.
Yeah.
Unless you think you owe too many debts.
No, I would love to owe some debts to some people who aren't red. I think this is great. I'd love to owe you a debt. So I was going to actually reverse this, but I think that I think this is a better way to do it. Because I think having the reciprocal debts is more interesting than cashing in the debt I have with you. I say, look, Dancy, I would really owe you big time if you were to just back off this Blaylock thing for a little bit. Let me poke around my territory, and see what I can find. I like this better because it means I can lie to you also, because I don't have to follow through on that part if you're doing me a favor by backing off rather than me calling in the debt. And to be clear, I am lying to you. I don't know that Dancy can read that or not. But Carrie is trying to buy time to figure out what to do about the fact that Euthanatos is looking for this business partner he's trying to get in with, but who's also gone missing. I think for me, right? That was what we decided.
Yes, I think that's right. You haven't seen.
I haven't been able to find him either, but
Yes.
I definitely don't want Euthanatos poking around him, regardless. So I say, Dancy, I would owe you big time if you were just to take a step back. And if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
She gives you a long, hard, ugly look. Okay. But you should know something.
Sure.
If Blaylock gets away, I'm coming for you. So don't fuck up.
I can't make any promises. All I can do is poke
I'm
around.
not asking you to make any promises. I am telling you a fact. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And now I owe Dancy.
Mm-hmm. Now, I I don't know that this is a clear-cut case, so I'm gonna ask you the question here, Dancy or Brandon.
Yep. Sure.
Do you feel like this is working against you, Thanatos? Does this trigger your? Does this hit your
No.
corruption trigger?
No, I don't think, because I don't think Carrie would help if I
Okay.
didn't let him do it this way.
Got it.
And I'm sure he doesn't want to help, which is why I threatened him.
Yep.
Mhm.
Perfect.
You know, I cannot force him to help me, but this is the best leverage I can manage.
All right.
If he asks enough people around, he'll know that it's a real threat.
Oh yeah, I don't think Carrie doubted it for a second. But that's a problem for tomorrow, Carrie. Also, tomorrow Carrie's kind of hard to hurt. So there's
Yeah.
a certain amount of
You're
unearned confidence there too.
you're kind of hard to hurt. You're not the first or 10th thing I fought that
Oh yeah, no,
believed that.
100%, 100%. I don't know that
So-
Carrie understands quite what you are either. Is the truth.
I want to cut back to the market. So Red and Dara, you guys are you're sitting at the table, sort of looking at Red's drawing, and you hear sort of a screech of tires behind you on the street, and you kind of look over, and there's probably 3 or 4 like pretty burly dudes in I mean they're I guess kind of decent looking suits, but they don't fit either, that like they're not well suited for the people wearing them, and they are sort of piling out of this car and over to your table, and they kind of pile up around you, Red, and say you gotta come with us.
Do I recognize them?
It sounds like you might be putting a face to a name, or a name to a face.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and roll with Night.
Roll with Night. Got a 0.
Could I also put a name to their faces?
Yeah, I think you can both do that. So yeah, and go ahead and mark Night, both of you as well.
That's a 7 for me.
Okay, so Red on a 7. So on a hit, you know the reputation. All right. Yeah, so I think you recognize the sort of the one in the lead as and here's where I don't have a name picked out yet. You recognize him as one of Stella's sort of lieutenants. You might have seen him, kind of around when you've been interacting with her. And I can give him a name here.
Excuse me. You're with the Volkov pack, right?
Doesn't have any. I mean, yes. We gotta go.
Why do we have to go? Also, I don't appreciate you just coming up to me and telling me we have to go. I mean,
sorry, I'm just so his name is Vincent. Stella needs to see you. And so at this point, they're actually trying to sort of well, sorry. So Dara, why don't you go ahead and roll your face to a name as well, or name to a
Oh,
face.
I also got a 7.
You also got a 7.
Twinsies.
Okay. So you both, now let's see. I'm trying to think. Dara, when would you, what interaction, you wouldn't have had much in the way of interactions with Stella directly, I think.
But you've probably, like, Red's probably talked about her.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's one of his other friends.
That's true.
He doesn't have many of those.
No, I mean, we might have met through Red, even. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Great. Yes. So you both know who this is. But at this point, they're actually, the rest of the wolves have sort of almost manhandled you up at this point, Red, and are kind of bundling you towards the car. What do you do?
This is really not great. Did Stella call me? I don't think I missed a message, and he's gonna, like, fumble for his phone to check if there's a missed message. Like,
Vincent just sort of growls, like, she just needs to see you.
then she could call, and, like, Red, this guy's like 150 something soaking wet. He's 5'7", and so, like, he's trying to, like, probably, like, dig his heels in a bit, and I imagine he's not getting far with these multiple burly werewolves. Like, he's like, this is really uncalled for and very unpolite. Like,
So, Dara, what are you doing while this is happening?
So sorry, what we know about Vincent is just that he's in Stella's employ.
I mean, I think he's one of the like, Stella's main lieutenants. If he's doing something, no doubt Stella knows about it. And he's not renowned for his subtlety.
Yeah. Oh well, clearly. I think Dara's, like, trying to, like, follow alongside Vincent and this other man, and she's just, like, firing off questions like, wait, what's going on? Like, where are you taking him? And she's just, like, following them to the car. I don't know if they're allowing that, but
I mean, I think they are, like, I don't think you can sort of get they're not going to kind of let you, block their way, but I think if you're kind of following along, they're not going to pay you a whole lot of mind.
I think in the fracas, when Dara locks eyes with Red, I think maybe I want to figure Red out here, because, like, Dara's mostly, I think Dara knows that, like, Red and Stella are friends, so she's not, I guess, that worried about what's going to happen to Red whenever he gets to this location, but more like whether she wants to read whether Red is okay going with these guys alone, like how he's feeling about this.
All right, so roll with mind.
Sure. That's a 6.
It's a 6. All right.
I'm gonna skim the surface also. Like, as they're moving me, I think my hand is kind of on Vincent, and I want to know exactly what he's thinking.
Okay.
10.
10. Okay. So let's see. How does that move go? So on a 10 plus, ask 3.
What secrets are you currently keeping?
So let's see. I think the thing you get is sort of a flash of well, I think that the secret he's keeping is that this is not a like Stella needs to see you for a friendly chat. This is legitimately a like kidnapping you sort of with intent to keep you somewhere.
Oh shit. What is your hidden pain?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm making you think about these new characters really.
I know.
In this.
It's oh yeah, that's is that sorry, I was just Jesse distracted me with the chat. Yeah, I think that's right. I think you do. I was just looking at this. No, so you trigger you mark circles for cashing in or honoring debts. Gaining a debt doesn't actually doesn't mark. Unless there's a specific move that I'm missing. You are muted, Jesse. So
I was looking at the character keeper, so it says everything under there is a debt.
Yeah.
But the character
Yeah.
keeper, that's all. I was just
sorry. Yeah, that was. I will clarify that in the character keeper. I had to look it up in the during the break, which is the only reason that I.
Anyway, sorry about that. I didn't mean to pull from
No
the
worries.
scene. I was trying to do it on the side, but I messed up also. So.
Okay. So right. So the question was, what is your hidden pain? I think that I think Vincent wishes he could be something more than just Stella's lieutenant. I think he may have some. I think he's got some. He pines for Stella.
Okay, so it's not ambition to be a higher status. It's he wants to mean something more to her.
Yes, exactly.
And who or what are you protecting?
So interestingly, I think there's a little bit of it's sort of twofold here. One, I think they do honestly believe they are protecting Red, but also they are protecting their pack as part of this.
Okay. So I think yes, you didn't do well, and so but at first, like it definitely did seem at first like Red was kind of like almost like more chiding than anything. But I think as they're getting him into the car, you see actual panic on his face, as if he's realized something, and it makes sense because during that time you saw he sort of stopped fighting at one point, and there'd been a glaze in his eyes again. Like you know at this point what happens when Red is kind of in a vision or something's going on, so you realize like he tapped into something there. Which allowed them to move him easier, only for like as he's being like finally put into the truck, like real panic to set into his features. And he's like, Vincent, don't do this. I don't know what you think you're protecting me from, but this isn't going to get you Stella's love, just bringing me against my will here.
there's a little bit of a sort of shock in Vincent's eyes, but he I think he sort of finishes bundling you into the car, and they pile in after you.
Yeah, I think Red, as like the door is shutting the window, I think he's gonna turn to Dara and mention and be like, "Get Carrie, like get Carrie," and then as the window closes, I think he's gonna send a text message if he can to Percival and be like, so sorry, I think I'm gonna be late to our meeting. Maybe being kidnapped. We'll keep you updated. And if he can send another message, it's to Stella being like, WTF, I don't appreciate this. I thought we had like it's like a whole list. I thought we had a better relationship. Why is Vincent shoving me into it? Like, and it's just like it's not like full sentences. It's just lots of like broken up bits. Like as that he starts just texting to Stella, kind of furiously pouting, arms crossed. He does buckle the seatbelt.
All right, and Dara, what's your sort of as this as Red is shoved into the car here? What are you
How do you misread the situation?
Yeah.
Because you've got to miss.
Well, you got a miss on the figuring
Red out.
Figuring Red out, yeah. But you did also hear Red ask you to call Carrie. So I guess what do you do?
Yeah, I think so. At this point, Red is like being whisked away, right? Like the car is headed off.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think we see Dara like half about to start like running after the car, and then she fumbles on her little high heels a little bit, and she's like, "What the hell am I doing? Like, I'm not going to chase a car on foot." And she just sort of sighs, almost resigned, and she knows he's had to call Carrie. She doesn't know that she fully trusts Carrie.
If I may offer.
Uh-huh.
Dancy spent pretty much all day in the gardens, and you might spot her. There's not a lot of people who have an umbrella on a sunny day.
Yeah, I actually am interested in having Dara try to get in touch with Percival.
Okay.
I think that's fun. So yeah, like between the two people that she thinks can help Red if he's in trouble right now, somehow she trusts the one she's not met yet over Carrie. And also that's the one who can get her into a party. So maybe he'd appreciate if she told him that his boy toy has been kidnapped. Yeah, so I think if she knows where Red lives, which I think she does.
Yeah, I think she's probably been there, right?
I think so. And you know that Percival lives in the penthouse of that building. It's the Millennium Tower in Boston. Which is and you know that Red lives in the building. He has his own apartment, but also the penthouse of that building is where Percival resides.
Yeah, perfect. Then that is where Dara's going next.
All right. Let's see. We're at about 2 hours in. So maybe let's take a 10-minute break here.
No, can't hear you. Not at all.
Ah, there we go. Okay, good. Multiple problems. Had muted my headphones as well as having them turn off. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hooray. Okay. So what I was trying to say is, all right, so Red, you are in a car with Vincent, headed to points unknown. Dara, you are headed to Percival's penthouse. Carrie, have you done anything to follow up with the phone number?
I can. I was going to when given an opportunity. I kind of want to put a face to a name. Do I have enough with the name and the phone number to do that, or do I need to like get a voice too?
Well, I think you. Well, let's see.
I mean, if all I've got is a first name and a phone number, the answer is probably not.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think probably.
But I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Once I get her on the phone, maybe
Sure.
And maybe I should have pressed Annie for more information. But I think when she gave me the name, I sort of assumed she gave me the first name because I knew who the person was, and I was like looking at the NPC list.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yep.
It's all right. I could have asked. Yeah. So that's fine. I called the number.
All right. Yeah, I think you.
I think I'm probably like just to if there's time. I don't know how much time you want to do with that. I think I'm like heading towards my car. Parked somewhere in the vicinity. As I was walking across the public gardens.
All right. Yeah. So I think she picks up. Hello? Who?
It's Jessica.
It is.
This is Carrie Ryan. I got your number from trying to remember her last name. I'm a friend of Annie Arcavian.
Of course. What did you need? Did
This is maybe a little embarrassing. I was asking around about I'm speaking euphemistically, I think, but in a way that I hope she might understand. People she might know from back in the old country, powerful people, people with a lot of influence who might have been poking around here. And she said you might be someone who would know something about some of those folks, especially as relates to the Pigman Foundation. But she actually didn't tell me, aside from your name and number, your first name and number, who you are. Do you mind? Do you have a last name you could share? Let me know. That's the embarrassing part, right? I have to like ask her this. Like, I don't know who I'm talking to.
I think so when you mention Pikmin, I think her responses are a lot shorter and essentially boil down to, we can't talk about this on the phone. Come meet me. And
Sure.
she gives you an address up in the some sort of up in the north end.
Sure. So that's those are my stomping grounds.
So I think we can and I think she suggests you meet her promptly.
Yeah,
So-
sure. I mean, I think I was gonna hop in my car, but I spin around and walk to the T because it'll be faster. And I won't have to look for parking.
Uh-huh.
Hop on at Park Street and I'm there in 10 minutes or whatever.
Yep.
Less probably. So when I see her face, can I put a name to a face?
Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think you get to the building, and the door, the apartment door is ajar. And you when you walk in, I mean, well, in fact, even before you walk in, you notice a very distinctive smell, sort of two. So the first one that hits you, square in the nose, is one you're intimately familiar with, and that's the sort of the iron tang of blood.
Sure.
And then the I think you also get a little bit of a hint of brimstone under it.
Sure.
What do you do? So you are outside the door right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it out. To extend my vampiric senses for a short period of time.
All right.
And I think that's mostly going to be about like probably smell and maybe some kind of supernatural, like even beyond like some kind of supernatural hearing. Smell and hearing probably are the two main things. Maybe there's like a kind of like infrared night dark vision thing happening too. I don't know. I will see what my roll is.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So I roll plus spirit. My spirit is not very good, I don't think. It is not. And that's a 6. 7 minus 1.
Oh, you're a -1. Okay.
Yep.
So
I think I still mark corruption, right?
Let's see. Let it out. I think only on a hit do you mark
look at
corruption,
that.
actually.
Great, only on a hit.
Only on a hit. That said, I think what is going to happen is, so you sort of pause at the door, and as you pause, it actually kind of almost blows off its hinges into you, followed by and propelled by really just a dense ball of fur and flames, and sort of the snarling muzzle. So you are going to take I think you're going to take 2 harm, although how does what's vampire? You don't have any sort of innate
armor? Nope.
Armor at the moment, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to take 2 harm as you are mauled by the hellhound that is coming out the door here.
Sure. All right. I will mark that. So that gives me that is a serious injury.
Yep. And we could call that mauled, I guess.
Yeah. That's And is it on top of me? Does it
yeah, I mean,
does it bound past me?
No, it is on top of you. I think you've sort of got there's a little bit of like, you've got a little bit of leeway. The door is kind of it's a little bit tangled up on the door, on the remnants of the door. You're sort of in the, I guess, in the hallway of this, this sort of cramped hallway of this.
And is it continuing to attack me, or is it just like it mauled me and now it's just like holding me there?
It is. It doesn't immediately. It doesn't seem like it's about to let up.
Got it. But it's not. It's not pinning me. It's like actively attacking me here.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, then I guess
You've got to get away, is what he's saying.
Well, or I could just try to fight.
Or you could fight it. Yep, you've got options.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my options here. So there's. I don't have an opening, so I can't escape the situation. I think I have to turn to violence. I want to create a situation for me to get an opening. Or I can shout and see if someone listens, but probably at the cost of taking more harm, right?
Yeah.
So
you could potentially go for a attempt to, I don't know, use the door to create an opening with like a mislead, distract, or trick or something to that effect. If you probably have other options if you didn't want to turn to violence, but
yeah, I mean, I don't super, mostly because I don't think it gets me what I want here. Like, I need a 10+ to like create an opportunity, to do anything aside from harm. I don't really care about killing this thing. Like what I guess I want to do is escape. But do I have an opening to do it? I guess is my question. If not, I'm just gonna say, hey, your dog. You get your dog off me?
Let's see. Sorry. Do you have an option? Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say. I think the door gives you that leverage to get out of there, or to escape if you want to.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to try to let it out again.
You're going to let it out. All right.
I think I'm going to let it out. I think I'm going to try to let it out again. To do a fantastic feat of vampiric strength or agility.
Nice.
I guess, or I could create. I would. And I think the main thing I want to do is kind of like reverse the situation, right? Have me pinning the Hellhound instead.
Sure. Okay.
And so yeah, it's another 2d6 -1. Hopefully this one's better, because otherwise I'm in a lot of trouble. And that is a 2.
Ooh.
I imagine I'm going to take a whole lot more harm now.
Yeah.
I think taking a whole lot more harm here is kind of boring. So I'm I think you so I think you do take another harm as you as you're sort of wrestling with this dog, with this Hellhound, essentially. And I think you are I think you are able to pin it. And as you do, you hear behind you someone kind of clearing their throat, and they say, Pickman's business is Pickman's business. We don't need you digging around.
Did Annie lead me into a trap? Like, do I still owe her a debt?
So
like,
yeah,
That's fine. Like maybe that's the failure. Maybe that's the failure there, right? She led me into a trap instead of.
I don't think she was deliberately leading you into a trap, but I think um yeah, I think the the net effect was someone found out something.
Okay, but just to be clear, whoever this is in my web and owes me a debt because they are interfering in my business. So
Perfect.
just putting that out there. I am currently in a great deal of pain. I'll have to figure that one out. But I'll mark that extra harm. And so basically it's success at the cost of harm. Is that what happened here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And
I shout, I got your dog pinned here and I'm pretty fucked up and I'm pretty mad about it.
The person behind you whistles, and the dog sort of slows down and kind of squirms its way out, or tries to. It
I let it go.
yeah. So it sort of circles around behind. And I guess at this point you can get up and actually see
Yeah.
who you're talking to.
Yeah. Although if you want to cut away before that.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. Yeah, let's see. I think we've got well, so Dancy, what you've let's see. So Carrie asked you to back off. What's your
And,
next?
yeah, no one else has engaged me, so I don't know.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Let's look.
I'm open to suggestions.
I was going to say you could have tailed me, but I don't know that fits with what you sort of committed to a minute ago.
I mean, I wonder if you could be tailing the car that took Red. I mean, Dara's not equipped to do that, but Dancy almost certainly is, if she was indeed in the area.
Did yeah, I mean, I guess the timing that we've had a day scene and a night scene, I think. So the time could be a bit slippery here.
Well, my interaction with Carrie wasn't until that evening, so it's
Right.
I don't like doing things out of order since that one.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking there. Yeah, I mean, I guess then the question is, what were you looking for at the market?
I don't ever buy anything at the market. But I like to talk to people. They're very enthusiastic about showing things. I like that.
So more of a
and it's full of pretty stuff. I don't have any, but I don't usually have any money. So, and the other things they want, I'm not going to give them. But I'm appreciative, and they like that. Some of them. Sometimes I see the bird there.
yeah, I think the bird likes to
He's not Faye, but there are always handouts at the market.
Yeah, exactly.
People drop bits of sandwich or purposely throw him things. Who knows?
It's always good food to be had there. So then I guess the question is, what you are so you see this this, you know, you I guess you're coming out of the market, and you see Red being bundled into a car, and I think you might hear Dara shouting. What would Dancy do at that point?
Presumably, she was too late to prevent any of this happening.
Yeah, I think
So she would say, "Bird, go after them. Come back and tell me where they are."
You sure you want to get into this?
No,
Nancy? This doesn't seem
come on.
good. You why are you getting your nose into their business?
I don't know. Who am I going to have milkshake with if he gets killed?
Bird sort of sighs. A crow sighing is a bit of a strange experience, but you've gotten used to it at this point.
He can shrug too. It's
Yeah.
it's impressive.
So I think, let's see. I feel like there is probably a move here, and I am not sure what it is. Why don't you roll me a
Just a hard move.
I was gonna say, why don't you roll persuade an NPC. Bird is reluctant to
Okay.
let you get involved in this.
Got a 7.
A 7. Okay. So on a 7 to 9, and you roll, that was what your heart is a 0.
My heart's a 0.
Yeah. So I think Bird sort of cocks his head a little bit and says, okay, I'll follow them, but you can't you can't just go after them yourself. That's not safe. You got to promise me. Promise me you'll get some help.
Okay.
All right. And so in a sort of flutter of black feathers, Bird launches himself up and starts kind of circling above the car, which is not moving. It you know, it's Boston traffic. It's not moving terribly quickly.
I'm gonna go trot over to where Dara is, I guess.
Mhm.
She's still there.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I guess this is the moment where, you know, Dara's making that decision about who to go to.
Hey,
Oh my, Dancy. They're taking him somewhere.
I know. A friend of mine's following him. But we're going to need help to get him out.
I think I know who to go to. And she's like grimacing as she says that.
Not the corpse.
I
Says
think his
Dancy,
name
and
is
she
Percival.
stiffens way up.
What was that?
Dancy says, "You don't, not the corpse, you mean, right?"
If you mean Percival, then I know how you feel about them. I don't fully understand why, but I'm not saying I trust whatever Red and Percival have going on, but I think he's our best
That's
bet.
because he's an awful person. And he's a lich.
He takes care of him, and I don't know what to do.
I'm not saying we can do anything about Percival. I'm just saying that maybe he's not the best person to call in on something like this. A lot of people hate him. And if they were putting the grab on Red to keep him away from anything, they're keeping away from Percival, right? So that's just starting a war.
Do you have a better idea?
No. Maybe Carrie.
Dara, like, gives Dancy this look that's like, you know, that's not a better idea. Come
It's
on
not
now.
a better idea. Look, no, I mean, what do I know? I know two people in this town. All right, and they're one's helping already, and the other one's dead, and is staying dead. I could call Dinesh Chopra. As far as I know, he and the werewolves don't hate each other.
Dancy, call whoever you want. I think I have to tell Percival. The grimace again.
You want me to come with you? I promise not to stab him.
Yeah, if you could, like, be a little nice too, like on top of that, that would be good.
I don't know. No guarantees.
Okay, try your best.
Okay. But I don't think he's going to be any help getting Red out. Or he'll
Maybe
be too much help.
surprise. Maybe people will surprise you sometimes if you let them, Dancy.
Most werewolves hate vamps. I mean, hate them. And he's not just any vamp. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Let's go.
All right, yeah, and I think we're off to Millennium Tower.
All right. That feels like a reasonable place to call it an evening. I think that gives us we've got a few hooks to pick up next time. Although, so next time is the 22nd.
So I actually will be able to make the 22nd. It's the 29th I can't make. I wasn't sure how those two dates were going to pan out.
Okay.
And I can't make either.
You will not be at either.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
that
well,
before you, yeah. But
yep. That's fine.
Certainly
You're
feel
the
free
nice-
to bring in it. From my perspective, feel free to bring in a special guest star if you want. If the rest of you want, yeah,
I did actually already reach out to the next couple of folks on the
Yay.
waiting list, and we've got some interest. So I think we'll have.
Ooh,
we'll
David's
see.
coming.
Yes, I think I both David and Stephen were are on the list and we're interested, I think it might be Steven next week and both of them the week after.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we could potentially go with both of them for both weeks and just be run a little bit of a larger group.
I think both would be great, but that's just my opinion.
I'm jealous of people who get to play with them. I'd love to play with both of those people.
I do love me some David MK.
Cool. So all right, we will figure that out async, and I'll work with them to get some characters. Would folks be okay with me just pulling them into our existing Slack?
Yeah, I'm
thread?
pulling them into Slack.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool. That might be the easiest way to just get them sort of wired into the story and ready to roll for next week. I'm gonna end the stream, but I would love to do some stars and wishes before we go if no one has to.
The end of session move.
Oh, end of session moves. What I don't even know. What? Thank you.
It's in the basic moves tab, and you decide if you've grown closer to a circle, increase your score and decrease one a different one.
Yes, that's
and
right.
then you
Okay.
also, I have some debt related stuff I want to run by you folks. So also
Great. Yeah, let's do that then. And let's go ahead and just answer that, I guess, I want to go reverse character sheet order this time, which I think puts you at the front, Gary.
Yeah. So I definitely think I've grown. I don't know I forget what closer is supposed to mean here. I know more. It used to be know more. I don't know. But I feel like wild. I'm a little bit more engaged with than I was previously. And I think like power, I don't even know. I haven't touched power. So I'm gonna go
Dancy's power, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. So then maybe not. I forgot about that. Then maybe it's Mortalis. I haven't really,
Yes.
I feel if anything like farther and getting more embroiled in supernatural stuff and, a way. So so Mortalis is going to go down to 0. Wild is going to go up to 2, and I'm going to mark Mortalis. Right, I can mark either one of them. And then, so I thought about it a little bit more, and I don't think I actually, the people in this who I knocked on their door with the Hellhound, I don't think they actually triggered that thing in my web about threatening my interests. I showed up at their house, right? I don't think they threatened my interests, but I do wonder, and this is a question for Dancy or for Brandon, you Thanatos sent you to poke around on my territory about the guy I'm trying to do business with. And you're already in my web and owe me a debt, but I wonder if if maybe now one of your superiors at Euthanatos is threatening my interests in that way, and is now whether that's the Queen of Spiders or one of the other folks, whoever sort of like directed that order.
If you don't do anything, then yes.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I mean, if you cooperate and do that sort of thing, then they're just having a nice negotiation with you, as opposed to messing around in your territory.
I mean, they're certainly threatening my interests. It sounds like then that's a threat. What you just said. If you comply, then you won't get hurt. It sounds like a threat to me.
Certainly.
I didn't threaten your interests. I threatened you.
I'm interested in myself.
That's true.
Very inordinately interested in myself. In Carrie's case, I think. So do we think that triggers that or not? That's just the mechanical side of it.
When someone comes to you to ask for favors, seek advice, bargain for info, threaten your interests, they enter your web.
Yeah, they didn't come to you.
Yeah, I think in this case the
it would be Dancy, and she's already there.
I think
that's what we're saying here.
That's where I'm leaning for.
That makes sense. I don't think I get an extra debt if like it happens again. I don't think that's how that works. So yeah, all right, cool. That's what I was checking in on.
All right.
And then second question related to debts. I think Jessica, regardless, forget we'll leave Annie's dead alone. She meant well. But I do think I'd certainly be willing to overlook a harm on Jessica for sending me. Jessica certainly sent me into a trap.
So that would be true, except that Jessica is dead.
All right.
So we'll
all right then.
Yeah, the amount of blood you were smelling outside the door was not a
Got it. All right, cool. We'll see what happens next then. All right, then that is my end of session move and stuff.
All right. So Dancy, you're next. Do you have a particular circles you want to?
I don't know
that you should move up and down.
I don't know that that I've exchanged circles enough that I haven't engaged with them enough to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think so that the two you both negotiated with Carrie, who's knight, and you've got Bird headed towards, like trailing a car full of werewolves.
Yes.
So I think if you felt like it, you could. I could see that being like I think you could make a case for that, but it is up to you.
Having engaged more with Knight.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
Okay.
And
then
help to put some vampire names to faces here.
All right. So we'll put +1 knight, and then you got to just decrease a different circle.
Right. Got it.
And then you can mark one of those two circles.
Okay.
All right. Red.
Yeah. So I think that I am going to shift my rating from Mortalis to Wild.
Okay.
I think I forged a good relationship with Manuel at the farmer's market. I also can't think of a less mortal thing than being kidnapped by werewolves at a Fey market. And I am going to click Mortalis.
All right. And Dara.
Yeah, I think that I've definitely engaged most with Knight this session.
Okay.
I mean, even though I didn't really, except for the Stella's goons, I didn't really talk to anyone in Knight. I feel like Dara's whole thing sort of revolved around the various machinations of Knight faction members.
Yep.
So I'm going to add to Knight, and I think lower Mortalis for now.
All right.
I'll mark Mortalis as well.
Okay. So with that, I will end the stream. We can do stars and wishes.